Warning, brave adventurer. This episode of Echoes of Honor may contain adult language or adult themes. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello, everybody. Hello there. Welcome back to the Lost Archives for our Cosmere RPG special series, Echoes of Honor. It is a pleasure and a delight to have you join us for our 5th episode. We've got some really cool stuff coming. Super quick announcements. Thank you everybody who has clicked the subscribe button on YouTube. You are amazing. You've helped us hit the 2,000 subscriber milestone. Thank you so much, you bloody legends. We are so grateful and so stoked that you've been joining us for the adventures and that you've had a great time doing so, hopefully. There will be a special subscriber video that we will be doing, which is a question and answer for our, or Q&A, I guess like an AMA Q&A, an AMA for our Curse of Strahd campaign. I'll let you know the days, but if you could chuck down any questions that you have, there'll be a post that you can see on YouTube or in the Discord. Just let me know any questions that you had at the end of the Curse of Strahd campaign. Chuck them in and we'll go through all the answers that you could ever need. So there'll be some more coming about that as well. So super fun. We have 2 apologies for tonight. One of them we already knew about. Matt is still enjoying Japan, that bastard. So we will be seeing him hopefully next week as he joins us back. Well, it depends on what happens with our session today, I guess, whether or not the survivors get the help they need or whether Rav-eth is left isolated alone out in the shattered plains when the next high storm comes. We do also have an apology from Ash. Unfortunately, he's unable to make it tonight due to illness. So I will be playing the character of Alaran tonight. I will do what I can. This is a very fun spot for Alaran to be left in. So thank you, Ash, for leaving me with your player character for this moment. Super grateful for that. I'll have to figure out what we do with that. I'll come up with something while we start. I've had a bit of a chance to think about it, and so far I've got a few exits I can think of for the character, but none of them are great. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the session. Rejoining us, Josh, thank you for joining us once again. I know you were away last week. It is exciting to have you back. Gark is alive and well, as far as we're aware. So nothing to worry about there.
Be a very short session otherwise for me.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us, Josh. As you come back in, you see Gark bleeding out on the side of the road, a spear stabbed through his stomach as lifeblood leaves him.
Off screen.
He's gone. Nice. No, Gark is still alive and well. We will be jumping in and seeing what Gark has been up to. We last saw Gark heading into the outer market with Tazo, the Shin traveler that you guys rescued at the on your way to the Shattered Plains. So we'll see how that pans out as well. And that's pretty much all the fun news and exciting stuff to share. I will do a really quick thank you to Baron of Dice on here as well. Baron of Dice sent me out some new resin dice to play around with. There is a link in the video comments below that you can go click on to go check out some of their awesome dice, resin and gemstone, as well as some metal dice. They are all excellent and very nice. If you wanted to see a little video about those, there's a video appearing right there that shows off all of the dice they sent me in their beautiful, sexy glory. Make sure you go and check those out. And if you're interested, yeah, just if there's a place to let them know I sent you, let them know. I'm not sure there is or not. Who knows? It's not like a sponsored thing. They just sent me some dice that are really sick, and I just want to give them a shout out because they're really nice dice. So go and check them out. Sweet. Let's do our recap. Let us jump into the session. Hey. Oh, speaking of dice, those of you in the Discord, join us in the Discord. I've got an idea for some dice. We'll talk about it later. Join me in the Discord. I've had a thought. I was telling Haz and Tom about this and Raph about this just before. I want some advice from anyone who's made dice before. Let me jump in the Discord. I've got some questions. I've had an idea. I want to know if anyone's got
Start binge watching Ribinator. You'll have a fun time.
Fuck yeah. All right, I'm in. I just don't want to have to buy like a vacuum chamber or a pressure chamber. I think I'm going to have to at some point.
It's not at some point.
It's now.
It's right now.
Sweet. All right. Well, that'll be our 2K subscriber special purchase. Pressure chamber for dice making. Oh dear. All right. Let us jump into the session. I'll do the recap and we will begin. Our story began on the western edge of the Shattered Plains with Gark, Miki, Neivien, Rav-eth, Alaran, and Ztar, survivors of a brutal attack upon the Bethab caravan in the night. With the leader of the caravan, Bright Lady Rallanat, seemingly having fled in advance of the ambush, and the few survivors of the terrible power of the attacking Shardbearer, too hurt to travel fast, the group have left Rav-eth behind to tend to the wounded, while the other party raced ahead to the next high storm and the Alethi war camps. Rescuing a Shin traveller, Tazo's son Cluthio, from a pack of aggressive axehounds along the way, the team soon arrived at the edge of the outer market, the enormous palace rising high above them, and the 10 circular war camps laid out below. Trumpets sounded suddenly in Sadius's war camp as the troops began to empty, a number of ragged men carrying bridges on their shoulders, several more running alongside in strange armour made from red bones and carapace. Moving on, while Tazo and Gark headed into the war camp to resupply, the rest of the team soon attracted the attention of Kolan's soldiers tasked with guarding the market. Fortunately, the soldiers and their leader Eskian were simply seeking to ensure the battered travellers were okay, soon offering to lead them to the Bethab war camp. Along the way, the team passed Thanadul's war camp, and suspicious of their possible involvement in the attack on the caravan, Ztar quickly snuck in, knowing a Parshman looking busy was unlikely to attract attention. Zatar's instincts were correct. Mingling with the other Parshmen soon allowed him to overhear another slave being ordered to take a crate of wine to Bright Lord Rezi. Suspecting Rezi of being the shard bearer involved in the attack, Ztar quickly took charge of the wine and made his way over to Bright Lord Rezi's accommodations. Meanwhile, Alaran, Neivien, and Miki encountered some resistance from the guards at Bethab's gate, forcing them to resort to using Alaran's injuries to help gain entry. After being patched up by the army surgeon, the group snuck away and sped towards the command center, a tall building rising from the center of the camp. We left off last session as the team struggled to convince Bright Lady Darla, a light-eyed woman seemingly working as a scribe of some importance, to grant them an audience with High Prince Bethab. And that is where we left off last session. We're actually going to jump straight back in with Gark, which gives, hopefully, Raph and Tom some time to think about what the fuck they're going to do in the Bethab war camps. Feel free, if you want to message each other and have a plan concocted. It is absolutely fine and not metagamey at all for you guys to have conversations outside of a game or around the table. There is no reason for you not to do that. Alrighty. Now, Gark. As you make your way into the marketplace, we're jumping back in time a couple of hours. The sun has not yet set. It is beginning to set, falling low over the horizon. The mountains casting long shadows over the war camps. The area around you kind of falling into shadow. All around the marketplace, light begins to spill forth as merchants begin to fill braziers, external braziers, with spheres glowing with stormlight, as well as lighting torches and wall sconces. This very, very vibrant light in the dark the market becomes in the shattered plains. Hard to believe you are at the center of a vast ongoing conflict, the vengeance pact between the Alethi and the Parshendi. This place feels like, doesn't feel too dissimilar from any merchant hub in Theylan, even in some of the areas around Carbaranth. There is a liveliness, a brightness to this. And if it wasn't for all the soldiers in uniforms around, it'd be very easy to think you're somewhere more familiar, Gark, somewhere more home-like. As you follow Tazo through the crowded streets, Tazo doesn't quite seem to know where he's going, frequently stopping to ask for directions, giving a few names and places before sort of being directed, occasionally helpfully, occasionally not, by the various denizens of the market. Some drunk soldiers, some Theylan merchants, all mixed results in helpfulness, shall we say, or mixed amounts of helpfulness. More than once, Tazo has to pull out his coin purse and hand over a few spheres. His sphere pouch. Yeah, pull out his sphere pouch. That doesn't sound right, though, does it? Pull out his sphere pouch. I guess that's what it is, though. I'm trying to think if it's been given any other name in the series, and I don't think it has.
Pouch of marks?
Pouch of marks?
Sphere sack?
Sphere sack's better. You're right. It's way better. Yeah. As he pulls out his sphere sack, feeling the heft
of loose change,
feeling the heft in his hand, as he prizes apart the wrinkled aperture. No, as he pulls his sphere pouch out and hands over a few spheres on more than one occasion to get information and given directions. It takes you about 35-40 minutes, Gark, before you arrive at an area in the market that looks a bit more, shall we say, downtrodden. Not the affluent areas that you pass through along the main road. not the red light district, which was very popular this time of night with a number of soldiers. This area is off towards the side, pressed up against the walls that fringe the outer market and protect it from high storms. You watch as Tazos kind of looks around a little bit unsure, turns to you, Gark, and goes, so I'm looking for a friend of mine. I'm not sure how much help we're going to get in this part of the camp, part of the markets. I don't suppose you've got any skills or any. My eyes aren't so good in the dark, I must confess, and my spheres are running a bit low on infusion. You don't have any way to light the way a bit more appropriately, do you?
Let me just check my inventory. Oh, la, 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 la.
He watches Gark pulls out his sphere sack, begins to...
I like that as a merchant you can say that sentence completely in character and it's fine.
Completely fine. Yeah, there's no issues with that sentence at all.
Oh, I do actually have a torch.
Hey, fantastic. You pull out your torch, light it up. You watch as Tazo sort of smiles and nods, goes, wonderful, good. Right, well, so the person we're looking for, this friend of mine, they'll look Shin to you, a little bit shorter than myself, roughly sort of late 40s. Last I saw, his hair was thinning. That was a few years ago, though. He might be a bit more balding now. Dark eyes, not unlike myself.
Is he a stall? Does he operate one of the many stores that are here? What type of trade does he deal in?
Not trade per se, but he should be here. The people I've spoken to said that they had seen someone matching his description in this area. I think we're just going to have to walk around and maybe split up.
What was his name?
His name is Exio.
Okay. Exio! Exio!
You just shout that out. I would love for you to I'm tempted to roll an intimidation check, just because I can't think of a more appropriate skill in this moment than shouting out someone's name at the top of your lungs. Go on, let's do intimidation.
That is absolutely fair. I will roll that. Roll. That's a 16. That's not bad.
15 plus 1, 16. As you shout out the name, Gark, you notice movement out of the corner of your eye as 3 figures slink back into an alleyway. You're not sure what they were doing or where they were. You only see the movement as they move away. But you do get a bit of a bad feeling about these characters, these shadows. A few moments later, you watch as emerging from the inside of one of these rough creme-made buildings, almost like imagine very low-set, like mud brick housing. The creme, the sort of mineral-rich deposit that falls at the end of the high storms, can be shaped before it hardens, a lot like clay or mud. It's got this very like granular sort of a texture, but hardens to be quite like almost as hard as stone once the moisture has evaporated out of it. These buildings are very simple, like they've been formed out of this, very similar to very low-set mud brick houses. And you watch as one of the doors opens, the wood creaking as it is essentially bound into this doorway with ropes and a very lackluster hinge. As the door opens, you see an older gentleman lean out, gesture very, very hurriedly as he holds aloft a single sphere to light the front of his face and torso. You can see he's dressed very similarly to Tazo, greys and browns predominantly. Looks to be much older, maybe late 50s, a little bit older than what Tazo was kind of describing. And you can see there are dark rings under his eyes. He looks tired, he looks haggard. There's a bit of a pinkness to his cheeks as well. A bit of an odd sort of appearance. And as he gestures hurriedly, you watch as Tazo squints in the darkness and goes, I think that's him. Exio? Quiet, boy. Get in here. As the figure gestures and then steps back inside the shadowed abode. You watch as Tazo turns towards you and goes, Well, I would hate to think your shout it might have attracted the wrong sort of attention. Perhaps we should head inside.
Yeah, let's go in. I'm going to keep an eye on exactly where I saw those shadowy figures, how close they were to this particular building, and then walk in.
Perfect. As you follow Tazo inside this low-lying, this low-constructed building, the inside is just as austere as the outside. Gark, you can see a single table and chair set in the center of the room, a small wooden bowl with some spheres in it providing very meager light. Over in the hearth there is a kettle perched, and you can see it is currently boiling. Very sort of the dying embers of a fire kind of heating this cast iron kettle, probably soul cast metal from the looks of it, Gark. Smells like this sort of quite herbal tea is currently brewing. And as the old man gestures you inside, not old, he's only 50s, as the gentleman, the middle-aged gentleman gestures you inside and closes the door behind you, you watch as he marches up towards Tazo, holding the sphere up to examine him. Tazo, sort of looking a bit, almost confused as he's being studied by this gentleman.
Tazo, yeah. Come on in, lad, take a seat. You were late.
Yes, but only by a few days or so.
Who's this you brought?
Oh, apologies. Exio, this is my friend, Gark. He saved me while I was traveling on the Shattered Plains. We ran into some trouble. Gark, you watch as Tazo kind of... You what, sorry?
I said pack of axe hounds.
You watch as Tazo kind of goes a bit quiet, his voice failing, as clearly the memory of what happened to him, the sight of his brother probably being killed in front of him, the trauma of that is still very raw for Tazo. You watch as Exio looks across, then turns towards you, Gark, and goes,
"Well, what happened?"
I'll place my hand on Tazo's shoulder and sort of squeeze it in a sort of sympathetic way. People were lost. Tazo was the only one that made it out.
Right, well that's a real problem. You were supposed to bring, was supposed to be 4 of you, right?
Just Tazo nods.
Well, I've got some of the equipment. It's useless now if your lot aren't gonna take it with you. How much does the Theylan know?
As he looks towards you, Gark, and looks back to Tazo. Tazo shakes his head, his voice coming back. Not everything that we're doing. Just that I had business here on the Shattered Plains, and that was all.
Quick question.
Hello.
For you, Owen.
Hello.
Did we see the other 2 bodies of the other?
No, you didn't.
Because I thought it was just the 2 of them. I didn't realise there was another 2.
Yeah, you only saw one body. You didn't see the other 2. So that is news to you. I'm worried how much Raph and Tom are laughing. That bodes not so great for the conversation I think we're about to have when we jump over to see what Miki and Neivien are up to. I can just see them laughing while I'm discussing like Tazo's brother being killed in front of him, and you see Tom like crying in the background and Raph barely holding it together, and I'm like, well, this will be good. Looking forward to this.
Oh, no.
Well, when the sentence is...
You can't even say that.
Murder her and hide the body.
Okay. Yep. About as well as we'd expect.
Perfect. I'm not 100% sure what's going on in this situation. I just wanted to make sure that Tazo was okay. I'm not 100% convinced that if I leave him here, he's going to be okay. You're giving me vibes.
Well, the hell would you know about what our people have been through, Theylan?
Oh, I know absolutely nothing about it. I'm not going to pretend that I do.
Tazo's one of us, a Shin. He won't come to harm from me nor any other of our people while he's here.
Okay, that's understandable, but your conversation about equipment and there's supposed to be 4 of you. Sounds like you've got some sort of plan, which may put Tazo in danger. And I don't want his life to go to waste, because quite a few of my friends and Tazo got hurt during that Axhound fight. Tazo is also a friend. Sorry, Tazo, I should have been a bit clearer on that. So, what's your plan?
Doesn't matter now. The ones I needed are dead. Tazo wasn't supposed to be anything more than the front of our store here. The merchant to legitimize what we're up to. Plan's fallen apart now. It doesn't matter, does it, Theylan? Don't know if I can trust you. Don't rightly care.
Oh, I mean, that's fair enough. I mean, I could have helped you if, could have struck up a deal. I could have helped with whatever it is you do. I mean, I am a merchant after all, so I have a way with speaking to people, getting, the more exotic items and all of that sort of stuff, Gift of the gab, I think they call it.
Right. Sure. Tazo, your friend here.
Which is Tazo nods. He's trustworthy. They saved my life. They had no reason to. They could have walked right past. He and his companions went out of their way to make sure I was okay. They've treated me with nothing but respect and care. Exio, I think they could be amenable to our situation here, and I know that I'm not the one that you needed for this. It was my brother, but I still think we can go ahead with the plan. I still think there's reason to give this another go.
Fine. Gark, was it?
Mm-hmm.
There's a gemstone here. Well cut. Well made. It's been stolen. Not from the Shin, but from Carbaranth. We're here to retrieve it. We've been offered a deal. If we can return Carbaranth's gemstone, one that was taken from them, they claim by an Alethi High Prince, we're in a good position to retrieve something we need.
I have good working relations with a lot of people in Carbaranth. Is there anybody in particular that you're working for? I might know them.
For now, we'll just keep it at that. But prove yourself trustworthy, and I'll tell you more.
Understandable. That was also a test to see if you were willing to give away information for free. Which you're not, which means that you're very good at this covert stuff.
If that's all it takes to be very good in your eyes, I'm frankly quite concerned about the level of secrecy you're going to be bringing to this endeavour.
As I said to you, I've got the gift of the gab, so normally, people just spill the beans whenever I speak to them, so I'm friendly demeanour and all that sort of stuff.
Right. How many are there in this crew of yours, the ones that saved Tazo?
Let me just count the number of us that are on the screen currently. 6.
Larger than I'd want for a crew of this nature, but if you can all keep your mouths shut. Done.
Yes, no, I think we're all pretty amenable to it. I mean, I reckon we can. I mean, do you know which prince it is that your target is?
Yes, I do.
Good. Oh, one other thing I should mention, and I sort of lean in and whisper a little bit. Does anybody else know about this little thing you've got going on here? There were a couple of shady figures hanging around outside when we were looking for you earlier.
No. If there's people hanging around, sure they're not just common thieves or footpads. This part of the outer market I picked for a reason. I want people to stay away.
It's possible, but it's always good to be on the more cautious side of things, so...
Oh, don't you worry about that.
Just keep your eyes peeled.
Point your eyes above the door.
You watch as he gestures towards the door frame. You can see a device, metallic, set into the top of the door with some gemstones in place. Looks like some sort of fabrial Gark.
Oh, I'm quite an expert when it comes to fabrials, because apparently I can repair them.
Just thinking, you might be interested in potentially rolling a check for this. I would say a deduction check would fall under here to try and figure out what this fabrial is for.
I would love that, thank you. And roll.
Yeah, 5. No clue, Gark. You can see that it is set with what looks like a topaz and maybe another gem, but who knows? Lots of weird bits coming off it, wires and stuff. This is, look, probably something he's come up with himself. It's not an official design or anything like that. Probably does nothing.
Yes, that looks very good.
Yeah, good. Right, where's the rest of your group then?
They're off, I believe, from memory, that they are off to go tend to some of their wounds and seeking out some information that we are currently looking for. So,
right. Well, look, I like to keep information tight. I like to keep things siloed. You'll be our contact through Tazo. You don't need to come back here again. I'll send information either through him or by other means. Do you have a span read? Can you read?
I do have a span read.
Great.
And an emotion bracelet, whatever that is.
Pretty basic fabrial. An emotion bracelet allows you to influence, to upregulate or downregulate emotions. Where'd you get this if you don't know how to use it?
I know how to use it. It's part of my path, as they like to say.
Right.
I am a scholar, after all.
Right. Scholar. Well, I guess it takes all shapes and sizes.
As he looks very, very unconvincingly at you, Gark, saying you're a scholar. You look far more like a pirate in his eyes, or a...
Yeah. I'm a merchant scholar that lives on the seas, and I like a particular style of dress. I am Theylan, after all.
Right. Look. Here. We're not going to need this anyway unless you lot... Not going to use it unless you lot do.
And he hands over and pushes forwards what look like several large leather-bound packs, and he places on top of it, Gark, a single span reed.
You can read, correct?
Theylan?
Yes.
Like you read the language Theylan. I'm not referring to you, Theylan. You can read the language Theylan. Or Alethi. What language should I be writing in?
Theylan, I believe.
Done.
I think I can speak a Thali as well. Thalian as well. Hang on,
Yeah.
Where would I find that on my character sheet?
It's cultural expertise.
Male Thalans usually read? Are they that?
It's a good question.
Or
So that's why I was going to double check. Thalans belong to the Voran culture.
Yeah.
So
Oh, Voran,
do male
they
Thalans
wouldn't.
read and write? Yep, Thaylan men and women. Thaylan script is a system of writing used by both. Thaylan men may learn to read and write. There you go. Fantastic. I was pretty sure they were, but then like anytime there's any question, especially from Haz, who knows the books as well as I do, I'm immediately like, double check quickly. No, it's less unusual for Thaylan men to learn to write. Awesome. As he hands you over span reed, Gark, you may add to your inventory a starting kit of your choice, as well as a span reed, and this is a single span reed to Exio. You don't know his full name. Unlike other Shin, he hasn't given his name as Exio Sun something. Whereas Tazo was very clear with Tazo Sun Cluthio. Exio has just called himself Exio, and so has Tazo as well, which is rather unusual for Shin.
Very nice.
are these dudes walking on stones as well?
No, the ground underneath them is the loamy, broken, sort of sandy earth of the Shattered Plains. Yeah, it's all good. Well, so the thing is, right, Tazo you've seen actively avoid walking on stones the whole time. Like the journey across the Shattered Plains, there were parts where it was a bit frustrating for him. He had to like dance around areas of outcroppings of rock and things like that to avoid walking on stones. Exio, Gark's only seen like 10 minutes of him inside his house, and the house is like covered in creme along the floor, which technically doesn't count as stone, so yeah, it's tough to say.
Are we spelling Exio, E-X-I-O?
That's fine. You can do that. EXCIO. But That probably is more phonetic EXIO, I'm realizing. I go EXIO. That's more shinny.
Yeah, okay. I was thinking of Ezio, but with an X instead of a Z.
Do you know what? It's hilarious. Fucking love Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood and Revelations. Not an inspiration for that name in the slightest. I wish it was now. I might have to adjust Ezio's character to be a bit more inspired by Ezio. I guess in
quick edit it.
Revelations. He kind of I guess like Ezio takes on a more of like a spy master kind of role in Revelations a little bit. Kind of a little bit there. I could do some stuff with that.
I decided on my piece of equipment.
Yes.
I went with my starting kit. I went with the artisan kit.
Nice. Okay. What do you get in the artisan kit? Just don't have to read everything. Just a few things that stand out.
Yep. So I've got a hammer.
Yep. Great.
Which I won't use because it's not my character.
Yep.
I also got some. I got some leather armor. I got loads of surgical supplies and like antiseptic stuff. I got a fabrial and an emotion bracelet, but I think I got those as part of being a scholar.
Yep.
The most interesting things that I got were. That's it. Tuning fork.
In the pack that you are handed, Gark, there are starting kits for the other members of your party as well. Starting kits of their choice. When you next reunite with your friends, you may each add to your inventory the starting kits that you would have gotten if you'd gone through the normal character creation outside of the first steps that we did, and it can be your starting kit of your choice. And when you meet Gark next, Gark will deliver those to you. Exio, as he hands these over to you, Gark looks towards Tazo, then looks back to you. Here's the thing. Keep silent about me. You can say you travel with Tazo and that Tazo's got a task that he must complete, but for your companions for now, I trust you and only you, because I've met you and only you.
Yep, that makes sense.
Here's your task. I'm not sure which war camps you're going to be heading through, but as a Theylan merchant, you've got access. You don't draw as much attention as Tazo and I might do. No one's going to be too concerned about a Theylan asking questions, especially a loudmouthed Theylan who talks a lot. I want you to listen in.
Oh, that is me.
Perfect. I want you to listen in around Bethab's war camp. I want any information about anyone who's been to Carbaranth in the last 6 months. Anyone who came back and has been spending spheres more than they would have spent beforehand. Someone whose fortunes have changed. It wasn't just the gemstone they stole. And if this is an Alethi prince or Alethi nobleman, some bright lord, I guarantee they're going to be spending spheres like no tomorrow here. They're far enough away that they think they're safe, that no one would notice.
I'm just going to add this to my goals section of seek information.
Absolutely perfect. I was just about to ask you to do that. Great.
Can I add details to it? I can add details.
You can add details.
Carry on.
Tazo, you and I have got some work to do. We're going to turn this place into an actual merchant's shop. My plan is that we have people coming and selling things here. I need you to set up a network of suppliers and buyers so that we can have a foothold here in the market district. I want plausible reasons for us to be here.
Oh, would any of this help? And I just dump all the stuff that I carried with me onto the table that isn't everybody else's starting gear.
You watch as Exio kind of like shies back, having somehow not noticed this heavy bag full of weapons on your back. I guess you are a broad fellow. Like it is possible that this is kind of half hidden behind your bristling muscles. As you drop the bag down on the table, you watch as Exio kind of swears. Storms, what is weapons? I'm gonna have to be careful selling these. Someone's gonna think that we're stealing them off corpses or something. You didn't steal these off corpses, did you?
Maybe.
How easily tracked?
We didn't steal them off of corpses because they weren't actually alive for them to have been stolen off of. So they were reclaimed off of the bodies of people. That makes sense? You can't steal from the dead.
Okay. I'm sorry, we're arguing semantics here. Did you take these from dead soldiers?
Yes.
Which
dead
soldiers?
That attacked us. That is something that my brain cannot remember. Which ones were they? Oh, I can't remember.
A mixture of Thanadel and Bethab. You think Thanadel. Your theory was that those people who attacked your caravan in the night were Thanadel soldiers. If that's true, then these are weapons from Thanadel's war camp.
Yeah, we believe that they are Thanadel weapons, although do their weapons have like unique, each like war camp have a unique sort of style to their weapons, or is it just generic?
It's pretty generic. The Colon soldiers are one of the few exceptions. They take great pride in their armor, their weapons, their uniforms. Very, very uniform, if you don't mind the double use of the word there, across the board. They're very, very much so. The other camps, it seems to be far more relaxed. And often it's actually styled underneath maybe individual city lords or things like that. People who've come, who are like sworn in allegiance to the High Prince and bring their soldiers with them. And their soldiers might have one set, another might have another. There's no consistency outside of the Colon war camp, to be perfectly honest. And it varies. Some war camps, there's no consistency at all. For some, it's like regional. These weapons are a real mix. There's some of them that have like different colors. Some of them have painted sections on the pommel. A few of them have what look like glyphs, Gark, either etched into the metal or etched onto the pommel itself. But the glyphs, I mean, as you have a quick peek at them, some of the glyphs are things like safety, victory, courage. You don't think it's necessarily identifying. Yeah. But as you drop these all down, you watch as Exio looks and goes, right, okay, Thanadel and Bethab, we can't sell these back to them. We'll have to make sure we sell them to Royan or something. Maybe even smash these up and offer them as soulcast practice material.
That's a good idea. Having sort of practicing in a particular section rather than like general goods might be a good idea.
You've got your work cut out for you.
Stores,
you watch as he nods. Gark, you've earned my respect. This is actually helpful. And it goes some way to not only paying for the materials that we were going to give you, which you now have, you've bought something else today. My respect. You show initiative. I actually care about things like that. Tazo, you've got work to do. We're already a week behind, and I do not want to be stuck here any longer than I have to be. Gark, rejoin your friends, find out what you can. Any information you need, any information you find, report via span read immediately. Do you have a location where you'll be staying while you're here on the Shattered Plains?
Not yet, no, but I can let you know as soon as I've acquired one.
Please do.
Span read.
Please do.
I will address, when speaking through span read, I will address you as Tazo.
Yes. Good. Yes. I was going to say no names, but Tazo here, if you're Theylan merchant and Tazo's setting up a shop and storefront here, I think that's plausible deniability. There's a good reason you two would be in communication and have business. Yes. We'll be using a code. Anything that you can report, list as goods, movement of items, of special deals and things like that. I want you speaking as if you are looking for bargains. Information like that. Something that nothing more than a casual observer would see you take any information from.
Yes. Fair enough.
Wonderful. Thank you, Gark. Please, don't let me detain you. As he gestures towards the doorway.
I will walk out of the door, and then Josh will realise that he's going to do a journal now and not tell anybody any of this for at least 20 sessions.
That's absolutely fine. You were specifically instructed by the NPC not to tell people about this. You have plausible deniability. Like for why you didn't share this. Perfect. We're going to jump over with Neivien and Miki really quickly. Harrison, then we're going to be jumping back with you. I know there's not a lot for you to do in this moment. I am sorry. When we got three-way split, I've got to do what I can. Miki and Neivien, have you got any... I mean, Neivien, do you pull out some sort of scimitar and stab this noble? Miki, do you grab her head and crush it? No. So where we left off was you were currently in the command center, the command building of the Bethab war camp. Even at night, this place is a hive of activity. You can see people moving around. The woman who has intercepted you is in her maybe 40s, 50s potentially. An Alethi woman, very, very well dressed and currently carrying around what looks like a large pile of scroll cases, as well as a few span reeds that you can see tucked under her arm. You can see that she has very dark black hair and light yellow eyes. I believe you know her name, Dalla. Yeah, I think you know her name, Brightness Dalla. And she has kind of like taken you off to the side to find out what it is you're doing here, why a bunch of reprobates and street trash have wandered into her command center demanding to see Bright Lord Bethab, is where we left off. Now give me one good reason why I should have you walk through to see the High Prince of this camp. Look at you. You are a mess. Your names are not known to me? Neivien who?
You know, that's still something that I didn't work out.
You've had a whole fucking week, Raph. You've had a whole week. You've had a week. There is no excuse here.
Give me a family name, and I'll run with it.
Neivien Raven? No, Raven. We can't do Raven. I was going to do like Revan. Revan? Revan?
Neivien Revan. Okay.
Neivien Revan?
Done. I'm Neivien Revan.
Revan. What? Okay. What are you doing here, Neivien Revan? You are far from home.
I am. I know. I've been sent by my mistress. I'm her ward. She's been teaching me about Fabrials and proper training in Art of Fabrian skills. She's Bright Lady Navesh, my mistress. She sent me directly to meet with Bright Lady Navarni. I've been ordered to pick up some certain items that my mistress requires that only Navarni can provide. We were attacked, as we mentioned, on the way here, which is why we are in such poor state of distress, for want of a better word.
Attacked by who? Where was this? With which group were you traveling?
I understand this is difficult, but it's not really something that I want to discuss in the open. The attack may have implications for one of the other Bright Lords, one of the other High Princes. They had their colors, and we were attacked by...
You are right to be cautious. Come with me, all three of you. With that, she turns and begins marching away quite quickly, her hava rustling as she begins taking long, striding steps through the corridors down towards a room at the far end of the eastern wall. Neivien, Miki, and Alaran, do you follow? Alaran does. Miki and Neivien, do you follow?
Yes.
I do, and as she, judging her expression, I'd like to go probably an insight.
Oh yeah,
or did
absolutely.
she know of this?
Yeah, insight's good.
All right, let's give her a roll.
12. Miki. She is frustrated, confused, and a little bit tired. She is... The name of Naivien's family has finally gotten through to her. She is interested enough to hear you out. But there's something else going on. You watch as she turns, begins to walk away. She gives a very definite nod and hand sign to one of the guards, who immediately, as she begins to walk away, with the three of you following, immediately turns and begins to make his way upstairs. You're not quite sure where or why.
So she's turned and moved straight away.
Yes.
I lean closer into Lady Neivien. Did you see that hand there? I think there was a little direction. It seems like that was a reaction.
I missed it. What happened?
So you said that. She turned around and she pointed to the guard, and he went straight upstairs. That seemed like not a surprise. So I think she knows. which means we could be talking to one of the insiders, which means maybe not. We should go in there.
Would it be worth our while for a certain amount of misdirection at that point? What if we were to lead her down the garden path, as it were?
Oh, you're Alethi. Okay. All right. Yep. Sure. We can possibly do that.
If we're saying that our assumptions are that we were attacked by a totally different group, perhaps we can throw her off the trail enough, but still allow us the opening to meet with the High Prince.
That's a very good point. Get us halfway there, and then swivel our way through. You're a tactician, social tactician.
We've grown up in this world to a degree. I'm very much out of practice, but we'll see how we go.
Well, I'm glad that you're here, because I'm not from this world at all, apparently.
We'll get through this. I follow.
Okay, I'll watch out for any reinforcements she brings, and I glance around for anyone else following. Locked doors and...
Yeah, no one seems to be following you for now. As you follow her down towards the corridors, as you approach the doorway, she opens up, which leads into what looks like a sitting room. It's not particularly well furnished. It's not extravagant or anything like that, Neivien, from what you've experienced, but it'll do. Miki, for your eyes, this is quite a nice sitting room. Some nice comfortable chairs. You can see there's a fireplace, not with any flames, but with what looks like a ruby fabrial giving off heat, which is really interesting. Not something you've seen before, using a fabrial like this to take the place of a fireplace. As you begin to approach the doorway, though, you hear a voice call out from one of the side corridors.
Alaran, is that you, my boy?
And as you turn towards the source, you can see an older Ardent, bald head glinting in the glow from the stormlight on the spheres on the wall, as he squints through what look like two half-moon spectacles. The Ardent is probably in his 60s, maybe even early 70s, but it's hard to tell his age. His skin has this kind of leathery appearance to it, like he's been out in the sun for a long, long time. Bit odd for an Ardent, you think, Neivien, in that moment. You can see he carries at his waist what looks like a dueling sword or a side sword, but under his arms he carries two stacks of books. And as he squints down towards Alaran, he watches Alaran turns and goes,
Aiden, I'm not sure what to say. What are you doing here? I could ask you the same thing, my boy.
You watch as Darla, the bright lady, looks in confusion as she looks towards the Ardent and looks towards Alaran and goes,
You know this boy? Yes, if I could borrow him for a moment, please, bright lady. I would much desire to speak with him if you would permit it.
Very well, but bring him back here shortly, as soon as you're done, Ardent.
Of course, bright lady. Alaran, come, my boy.
You watch as Alaran looks towards the two of you. Hey, will you be okay? I'll be right back. Old family friend. You be okay?
If you think now's the time for a meeting with old family friends, by all means.
Aiden knows, as he leans in and whispers, Aiden's a keen political mind. There could be information he knows that could help us. I'll be a moment, I promise. I'll be right back.
All right. Go on, do what you have to do.
Alaran gives you a grateful nod, Neivien, and then scuttles after Aiden, the Ardent. Neivien and Miki, as you follow Brightness Darla into the room and take a seat, you can see she's visibly a bit sort of like, because Alaran had never given his like full position and title, and the fact that an Ardent has recognized him does seem to have given a bit more credence to your story about who you guys are and what you're doing here. You watch as she stands by the door, inviting for the two of you to sit, but keeping herself up and a little bit away from you at this point, keeping herself nearer to the door for the time being. Still a bit of a healthy caution that she seems to be displaying, Miki, with your insight roll of 12.
Right, we are alone here for the time being. I am Brightness Darla. You may refer to me as Bright Lady Darla, Brightness Darla, Darla Taranat. I am scribe, chief scribe to High Prince Bethab's wife, Machina. Anything you must say to the High Prince can indeed go through me. You have requested silence, secrecy, and privacy for this conversation. I ask that you speak freely, Neivien, and... As she looks towards you, Miki.
I am Miki. I am... Unkalaki.
Yes, I could see that. Now, you said you were coming here with a group, a caravan, was it, that was attacked by soldiers from another High Prince? These are serious accusations. I would hear the whole story.
Now, rather than relay the whole thing, if you want to, you are more than welcome to say, we tell her XYZ, or if you've got a specific kind of throughput that you want to do, I am more than happy to roleplay this. I just want to make sure you guys have got the options.
Sure. Do I, now that she's actually introduced herself,
Yes.
have I ever heard of her?
I would love... Let me have a quick peekaroo and I'll tell you which skill check I would like, Neivien. I'm probably going to be tossing up between... probably deduction and give me a second as I have a quick just pulling up my list of skills, because I keep wanting to say history, but it's not called history in this. Law, deduction or law.
So Miki does have an Alethi cultural expertise.
Which
could I also chime in to perhaps give him some assistance?
100%. Neivien, if you want to roll this with advantage, you may do so with Miki giving you assistance here, giving you the help action.
All right.
Yeah, your choice, law or deduction. 6 for the first
Just
roll.
don't click re-roll, so we don't get another 6.
Oh, 15 plus 4, total of 19 on the second. Very nice. Neivien, you do know a little bit about Bright Lord Bethab. Rumors in court say that most of the leadership of his army, of his nation, of literally every part of his princedom is actually done by his wife, Machina. She is known as being exceptionally intelligent, quite crafty, whereas Bright Lord Bethab is known as being slow of wit, is the lacking in the brains department, is the rumors that swirl and the kind of innuendo around Bright Lord Bethab. A man who is content to drink wine, kill some things, drink more wine, really very easily satisfied, not a particularly bright man. The woman who you're currently speaking to, Darla Taranat, her family are not super well known. They have been tied to the Bethabs for a long time. Not really quite sure how deep that relationship goes or what it entails. They've always sort of just been there at all events, balls, parties, things like that. They're kind of always in the periphery. Things have changed though with Machina. A lot of the Taranets have fallen out of favor, but weirdly enough, Darla has become a very like well-known figure amongst a lot of the information brokers coming out of Alethkar. She has been working with Bright Lady Machina, or I'm not sure what like the official term for like the High Prince's wife is. I don't think there is one. It's just Bright Lady. They don't have like a...
I don't think they're married, are they? Isn't she the mistress?
No, you're thinking of Sabariel, I think.
I am, yep.
Yeah, Sabariel is not an unintelligent character. Sabariel is quite clever. We don't... So in the books, we only really see Bethab once, and No, I think we actually see his wife. His wife comes and apologizes for like him not doing something. Just says, "Nah, we're not going to do it. Sorry," and then leaves. And that's like the entire interaction we see with Bethab. I won't say what that thing is because it's a bit of a spoiler, and we haven't seen that happen in the books in this moment yet. They're not really like high princes. It's not like a princesses, high princesses. So I'm just going to call her Bright Lady Machina. Yeah. So Neivien, what you know about this woman? She is from a family that have fallen out of favor, yet somehow she has grown in that favor as a result of her family kind of being ostracized with the marriage between Bethab and Machina. You know she has a brother, a shard bearer, not a full shard bearer. He just has shard blade. Where he is or what he's doing, I mean, with a 19, I'm going to say you know that they are often together. It's unlikely he is far away. If she's here right now, he will be somewhere else in this building, if not the war camp. Were there any other things you wanted to know? With a 19, that's pretty solid.
I think that's pretty much gives me a bit of a rundown. There's nothing. Her loyalty does seem quite solidly placed with the Bethab house.
Specifically with Machina, the wife.
Okay. Bright Lady, I want to tell you as much as I possibly can about what happened. But with saying that, there is a certain level of reticence. Even now, I know of you by reputation, and nothing that I know would indicate that you would do anything against the will of those you serve. And yet, I have not made it this far in my life without being a certain level of cautious. So please understand that what I tell you now, I do so carefully and as thoroughly as I can. And with that, I'm going to lie to her quite a lot.
Okay. What specific lies are you telling her?
So basically, I a lot of it is, the best lies are the ones that are filled with truth, right? So
wrapped around, yeah.
I'm going to be describing the attack that happened, not leaving out who the caravan was, making it very clear that it was, looked after by Bethab's troops.
Okay. Do you mention Bright Lady Ralanat? Because if you do, we're going to be doing this as a role play. If you're not, you may carry on.
I'm not yet. I'm going to leave it at the moment as we were traveling with a Bright Lady who was, looking after, or at least, the Bright Lady in chief, I guess, of the caravan.
Yep.
But I don't go into who she is, and I try and kind of barrel through that section without allowing her to have questions.
Okay, she would have the schedule of the arrivals of caravans if there's any timeline you give, she's immediately going to pull open that schedule, and then we're going to be diving into roleplay with this one. What I'm going to do then in that case, I'm going to jump over to Ztar really quickly. I think this will be the conversation that you're currently having with this woman. Has the potential to be very, very spicy and possibly the best cliffhanger I could end on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump in with Ztar for a moment. We're going to jump back to Neivien and Miki. What are you doing?
Oh no.
Ztar, last we left you had infiltrated Thanadel's war camps, had acquired yourself a cask of what looked like sapphire wine, with the instructions to deliver it. Well, no, not the instructions given to you, but you have taken on the task from another parshman with instructions to deliver this to Bright Lord Rezi. Ztar, I think we left off with you kind of asking for vague directions from the parshman, just to give you a bit of a rough destination before heading off, correct?
I think I was just heading towards the biggest building in the area, but let's say I did that first because that seems smarter than what I was going to do.
I distinctly remember that, but maybe that's because I was thinking you should do that and then you didn't, which is why it stuck in my mind. I'm like, I'll remember he didn't do this. No, look, I'm happy for, as you go to start walking, you realize you're like, oh, fuck, I don't know where I'm going. You, Parshman, hello. Please help me. I'm a friendly Parshman. Look at my face, friendly face. As you get instruction with the Parshman points towards the what looks like the command center, Ztar, and goes, second floor. And then nods very slowly.
Slow nods back.
Perfect. As you take off. As you take off, Ztar, moving through the camp, you can see that the war camp is getting ready for the evening shifts. A number of soldiers are dressing down. I think we talked before about you seeing them sort of getting a lot of their gear and equipment off, having come back maybe from a plateau run, it looks like, or some sort of other military exercise as they pack away a lot of their things. And as you make your way through the camp, you are very much ignored. By the time you reach the command center, this very, very large building, 3 stories with a peaked side to protect against high storms and to blow the wind over the top. As you make your way up inside, no one pays you any attention at all. People do not move out of the way for you, but they don't pay you really much mind. As you wander on through, heading up the stairs to the second story, you arrive at what looks like a series of corridors branching out from a central balcony. You can see there are a number of people currently lounging around the central balcony. It looks like a number of light-eyed nobles currently enjoying food and drink that's being brought up to them. There are a couple of other parshmen in here as well, Ztar, carrying around objects and providing them to the people here. This is a display of wealth and ownership. Parshman slaves can be quite expensive, and it is kind of rare to be using them alongside servants in a place like this. Something's up here. That this is a very ostentatious, expensive display, and you're not quite sure what for or why. It is a bit odd. But as you make your way up towards the second story, you watch as a drunken, light-eyed noble, looks to be in his early 20s, black hair cut very fashionably short, dressed in very, very nice fancy waistcoat, partly unbuttoned, so you can see he's quite hot and sweaty. And as he stumbles on over, you can see he is drinking very heavily of what looks like violet wine, the scent of sandalwood on his breath, as he goes, Hey, you've brought more wine. Yeah, come. Oh, is this piss, huh? As he looks towards you, Ztar.
For the Bright Lord Resi.
Oh, storming, man. We asked for violet. You can't bring us more sapphire. Get out of here.
And he pushes you, pushing you aside. Ztar, could I get you to please make me an athletics or agility check, your choice?
You probably go agility. I think I can't try and just roll
move with it
around, not directly oppose it.
Yeah. What could go wrong? Natural. 8 total. You stumbled.
I'm not rolling on this campaign.
No, it continues on, the curse of bad rolls. You stumble slightly. One of the bottles clinking ominously as the Bright Lord, having pushed you aside, reaches in and grabs one of the bottles, and with a whooping cry runs over to his comrades. Got one! Ha ha! As he runs over and begins pouring it into their cups. This man is drunk. This is the worst of the Alethi light eyes that you can see here on display, Ztar.
Just mentally jot him down on my list of people to bring justice to.
As the Bright Lord moves away, you watch as a servant, it looks like an Alethi man, probably another slave, Ztar, from the looks of things, but this one dressed like a steward, dressed in serving gear, as he wanders over towards you and goes, Did I hear you say you had something for Bright Lord Resi, Parshman?
Wine for the Bright Lord.
Third door on the right. He's got company in and out quickly, you hear me? You can clean up after his things later.
Another slow nod.
He hasn't even paused to watch your acknowledgement, Ztar, as the steward turns and wanders off. Corridor stands open before you.
Alright, I'm going to, the third door relative to where the main body of this party are, where does that sit?
It looks like it's about 20 meters down this corridor. It's a bit of a walk. That first room, the doorway is only up 2 meters away from you, away from this sort of main. Imagine a massive open balcony with stairs coming up either side. There's 2 corridors leading down on either side. The corridor down on the right is where you're headed. The first room, that first door, looks like that room is much larger than all the others. Maybe some sort of meeting chamber or something like that. And then other rooms displayed at far more regular intervals along the way. Possibly smaller chambers for...
You're not really sure. Maybe accommodation. Maybe some people are sleeping here. It's hard to say.
then I'm just going to slowly parchment my way from here up to that third door, keeping my ears out for any kind of snippets of information on either Resi, that attack that went down, or anything to do with Thanadel's personal family.
I think that's a very good idea. Could I please get a perception check?
You can.
This will be like a natural 20, don't you worry. I can feel it coming. 6 plus 5.
I don't roll above a 5.
Total of 11. Well, you did roll above a 5.
Oh,
6, yay!
Nice.
Just one. Just for shits and giggles, can you roll me another perception check? I just want to see what happens. I'm just curious. I'm not necessarily saying that this is a fun coin, but this is a fun coin. 9 plus 5 is a total of 14. This is a fun coin situation. As you make your way down the corridors of Ztar, you can indeed hear a couple of the noblemen talking in the chamber behind you on the balcony. As you pass by two of them off towards the side, you can see these ones aren't drunk at all. Two of them sort of whispering together. They pay you no heed as you walk past. You're a parchment. Why would they care? You can see that they are whispering quietly to themselves. You overhear the following. Yeah, but what if they find out? I didn't realize what we're getting ourselves into. Resi said, Storm's what Resi said. We weren't there. You understand? We didn't see nothing. We didn't hear nothing. We weren't there. But if Resi storms to what Resi says, man's lost it ever since. And that's what you hear as you walk past.
Okay. Well, so were they in one of those little meeting rooms?
Just standing towards the edge of the balcony along the border of the hallway.
And they didn't seem very drunk?
No, they weren't drunk at all. Well, from what you can tell, not that drunk at all. Mostly sort of talking quite agitatedly. The looks like one of them had a cup of wine, but I mean, what you could tell, it didn't seem like they were drinking as heavily as the one you interacted with before.
Then, feigning being a servant with my little crate of wine, I'm going to very slowly parchment my way over and see if I can pick up anything more of that conversation.
As you make your way over, you do hear the end of what that man was saying about Resi hasn't been the same. Resi hasn't been the same since the duel with Theylan. Humiliated him. I didn't know Theylan could fight like that. Just thought he was a bit of a fop, really. He's the son of the Blackthorn. But what do you want? As he turns towards you, Ztar.
Wine.
You watch as they turn and look at each other, and the slightly more nervous nobleman. As you get a bit closer, you can see that these men are dressed. One of them is dressed in what looks like a more military style uniform. The other one far more like dandy dress, a bit like Alaran, really, what he's wearing. Both of them have darker hair. One quite dark brown, one quite dark black. Light blue eyes on the slightly younger one. Looks like he's in his 20s. That's the more nervous one. The other one looks like maybe late 20s, early 30s. He's got these almost like lightish kind of green aqua. It's quite a beautiful color that kind of stands out. Quite unusual colors it are. You watch as the younger one goes, yeah, reaches in, grabs one of the bottles, and then immediately goes back to ignoring you, Ztar.
I'll turn to move away, but not really go. Just do enough of the turn so they go back to what they're doing and think that I'm leaving, and just see if anything else of interest.
Can I?
Before.
Yeah. Can I grab? I'm going to say this falls under either stealth or deception. Your choice. You can pick.
We'll go the stealth.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
19 plus 3, 22. He's having fun now, ladies and gentlemen. He's having fun now. As you very carefully, Ztar, noticing that there are, on one of the wall sconces, hasn't been filled with fresh spheres, the stormlight having died right down, giving you a bit of a shadowed alcove that you can easily kind of stand in. Your darker, mottled skin blending in with some of the shadows and making it a bit easy for you to kind of just stand off towards the side. You're also perfectly positioned to listen to the rest of their conversation from the corner. You overhear them continue to talk, mentioning a duel between Aelthi Colin and Bright Lord Resi. A duel not for shards but for honor. in which Rezi was thoroughly humiliated. He has not been the same since, drinking heavily, getting involved with unsavory characters and spouting concerning nonsense about revenge on the Colons, revenge on the Bethabs, revenge on the Sabarials. He seems unhappy with all three. Even though it was Adelin Colon who beat him, he seems to have some grudge against Bethab and Sabarial as well. Not quite sure why. They don't seem to know either. It's one of the topics of conversation. They sort of get a bit stuck on this. And you also hear one of them announce that Adelin has challenged him to a duel as well, which he wants to take him up on to humiliate him and hopefully improve Bright Lord Rezi's mood. But there's been communication that Adelin is to be avoided for now. No duels are to be accepted. From who or what, we're not sure.
Very good. Okay. At that, I will make my way off the balcony and towards Bright Lord Rezi's room.
Perfect. As you make your way, as you parchment down the corridor, you reach the door. You can see the door is partly open. You can hear two voices coming from inside, as well as the sound of tinkling glass.
I pause. I mean, there's a lot of people around, so at this point, standing in front of the door would look a little suspicious. But I mean, would a parchment knock before entering? I feel like they'd be probably afraid to have done that.
I would imagine.
So I'll kind of like pretend to knock, so anyone that thinks I'm waiting for a response, and then just wait at the door for a moment to see if there's anything I would be missing by just barging in.
Yeah. As you knock, you hear a voice call from inside. Enter.
No, fake knock. Fake knock.
Oh, fake knock. Sorry, I misunderstood. As you fake knock, I'm happy to keep your stealth check from before. As you continue to listen in, kind of getting some intel from inside the room, you hear two voices talking. Rezi, I need you back to your full strength. You are our royal defender. It's frankly embarrassing to have you out of action like this. Put aside the wine. We have a greater task here than your petty need for revenge against the Colons, whoever else you think has slighted you. There's a pause and silence for a few moments. Yes, High Prince. Understood. Good. Then we'll have no more words about it. Get yourself sobered up. This is your last night of drinking. I want you on the next plateau run, leading our troops. We need more gem hearts. Colon is causing problems. Sadias has charged us with acquiring as much as we can. Colons are slow. We can beat them on the next plateau run. And I frankly would love to show the Blackthorn just how had it he is. Old man's past it. Do you understand, Rezi? That's how you get revenge on Adelin. Yes, Bright Lord. With that, the door opens right in front of you, Ztar, and you are faced with a tall man in his 40s. He has streaks of grey along his temples, and you can see that he is dressed in the red and brown of Thanadel's colours. You have Alethi expertise, do you not, Ztar?
I do, yes.
This is Bright Lord Thanadel. Out of my way, as he pushes past you, Ztar, not even pausing to acknowledge you, just pushing right past you and striding down the corridor. You watch as two figures follow along behind him. Both of them look like soldiers. You can see one of them has what looks like some sort of weird curling scar down the side of their face. These series of spiral-like patterns, a scar down the side of their face. You watch as they sort of look over at you and then begin to follow Thanadel. Inside the room, you can see a younger man lying half spread across what looks like a chaise lounge, a bottle of wine still clutched in his hands, and you can see he's thrown his head back and covered his covered his head with his face. Covered his face with his hand. That'd be impressive. Cover your head with your face. Covered his face with his hand. Looking a bit despondent, Ztar.
Did I recognize either of those two people following Fanart out there?
No, you do not. However, if you'd like to make me a lore check, we'll see if you do get anything else from them.
Sure. Is that's not the Alethi cultural?
Yeah. So the way that the cultural expertise works is you still make the checks, but you get extra information. So some information you just get for free, like however you just got the fact that was Fanart immediately, but then more information that's a bit deeper does require the roll. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. That's a 5 plus 1, which is a total of 6. This is how you got no fucking clue who these people are. Probably soldiers.
Yeah. You got scars. Power's gonna get scars. I bet I'll knock. I'll do real knock and kind of just pass my way in and kind of just walk up and just kind of awkwardly stand there in front of him with the with the case of wine there.
You watch as he slowly lowers his face from his hands, looks up towards you and goes, "Well, put it on the floor."
I just put it just straight down.
Storming Parshman, not there with the other crates.
I pick it up and take it to the other crates.
Ridiculous that we're supposed to believe that you can be the ones to restore our honor. What are you waiting for? Off you go.
Off I go. Before I leave, I want to find someone who looks reasonably drunk.
Oh, don't worry. Before you get quite there,
Okay.
Josh, can I get you to roll a D100 for me, please?
Of course you can.
Because Bright Lord Rezi was there when a rather unusual Parshman. 44. Thank you, Josh. Wonderful. Wait. Come back here, Parshman. You watch as Rezi slowly stands, rising up as he sways a little bit unsteadily as he looks at you. I've seen you somewhere. Haven't I?
Usually work at the quartermasters.
Right. For a second I thought... But then that'd mean you were Parshendi. You're not Parshendi, are you, Parshman? You don't look it. No armor. Not humming along while we cut you down. With that, you watch as he holds his hand out and summons a shard blade. As the blade appears in his hands, coalescing from mist, you can see it is as tall as he is, the tip immediately cutting into the roof of the building where he is. It is long, it is silvery. You can see there are wave-like patterns etched across its surface. It's beautiful, Ztar. And also kind of terrifying. You've seen just what this blade can do. You saw it slice through men like they were nothing, carving into them as their eyes burned in their sockets with just the slightest touch from this blade to their throats. Yeah, you got more of these, huh? You hiding more of these out there, are ya? As he looks at you, the blade still partly stuck into the roof.
I just kind of stand there kind of blankly. God, I could probably try and stab at this dude though, couldn't I?
Look, what do you want to do? This is your moment.
Take your shard blade.
Murder, murder, murder.
I'm just gonna say one thing. You're level 1.
Yeah.
In no way let me influence your decisions, but Ztar, you know your strengths and weaknesses. You know your limitations. It's up to you.
Do you have any other tasks, Bright Lord?
Do you have any other tasks, my lord? Storm off. And with that, you watch as the shard blade vanishes and he turns and looks back towards his cot. He looks disappointed, Ztar, as if he was expecting more from you.
Good.
As you walk away, you hear him mutter, "Sons of honor."
Interesting. File that one away in the memory bank. As I continue to parchment my way out of the room.
I will share for everyone. This is for all the players and all the viewers. There is one character that I will not let Harrison cross paths with, and that is Moash, because I know for a fact that if Harrison gets anywhere near Moash, he will immediately stab him, and there is, unfortunately, no canon way we can allow that to happen. I understand. If I was anywhere near... Look, if we weren't doing a canon story, I would 100% allow you to just kill Moash as many times as you want. I'd have some sort of like Night Watcher boon that brings him back like 80 times, and you can just go to town on him. But unfortunately, we're trying to stick as close to canon as we can, if not stay completely canon. My plan is that we don't break canon anyway, and we fit in around it perfectly. So no Moash. That is the only character I'm going to actively make sure you never interact with, Harrison.
If I'm not going to fight this guy, I have no reason... Ztar has no reason to hurt Moash.
No. That's true, but I know you do, and I know that even, like, look, I'm going to be honest, I'd struggle. I would just, even for the fun of it, just describe the scene of you killing Moash just for fun. Because it made me feel better. Fuck Moash. No, seriously, hashtag fuck Moash. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's an entire subreddit.
There is an entire subreddit dedicated to fuck Moash. I agree. It's very funny. For those of you who are up to date with the Stormlight Archive, it's a very funny Reddit to go and check out. I do recommend it strongly. Tom's taking his headphones off because he's worried about spoilers. There's no spoilers, Tom. It's all good. It's all good. There's no spoilers, Tom. I promise. No spoilers.
Yeah, I believe you should already dislike Moash.
You should already dislike Moash.
Yeah, I do. A little bit.
Our reaction is far more extreme. Tom's like, there's more here for sure. There is. No more spoilers. No more spoilers.
I guess the only spoiler is he don't get better.
Ozwizards, I know you're kidding saying that he's such a cool character and a good friend, but I swear on the Heralds, I will hunt you down. He is not a cool character. He's not a good friend. Moash is bad.
He's a great character.
He's a great character. And look, to write a character that everyone universally hates with as much venom and vitriol as we hate Moash is actually fucking impressive. I don't know if I could do that. Write a character that is so universally hated. I'll give it a go. Let's see. Let's see if I can do that with this campaign. My plan is to have someone that you all can really hate for a while. Awesome. As you make your way back out, heading away from the group again, Ztar, you're looking for someone who's really drunk, you said?
Oh, I mean, not like... incomprehensibly on, just drunk enough that they might not.
Mike, you should move your microphone. Sorry, Haz, I'm losing you a bit there.
Yeah, not like. Actually, I don't even know if it's going through. This is probably going through my laptop. They're not like catatonically drunk, like conversationally drunk, just drunk enough that they would probably, gloss over this conversation once they sobered up, kind of thing.
I think that's very achievable.
Noticeably in their cubs, but not like passed out into it.
Yeah, that's very, very achievable. The man who you bumped into before, the one who kind of like caused you to spill stuff, he's probably a fairly good candidate, and you've already got precedent for approaching him. You can see he's now a little bit off by himself. The female companion who he was talking to, you're not sure what's happened, but she has rushed away with two of her friends, wiping something off her shirt. And you can see he's like calling out to her, holding an empty cup and going, "Oh, come on. It was just a little wine." Oh, storming women. As he goes off and stands to the balcony by himself.
I'll head over there and say, Bright Lord Rezi sends me to Bright Lord Edoran. Where is he?
Who? Bright Lord Edoran? He's not here. Rezi should know that. Why is he making you do all the stupid stuff, Parshman?
I just stone face him.
He's not here.
I turn and Parshman way out. That's all I needed to know.
As you begin to Parshman away, you can hear him kind of laughing and going, "He'll be back tomorrow, though. Come back tomorrow, Parshman. Can you remember that?" tomorrow. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, great! You turn around. Yep. Give him a little salute.
Yeah, I fully break character for like just a microsecond for just this guy, and then just go back to it. So he wouldn't even know that it was real or not in the morning.
You watch as he kind of looks around, like scared for a second, like rubbing his eyes as he looks. He's like, the what? And then looks down at the cup of wine and slowly puts the cup aside.
And then I'll head on out. All right. Just to recap, what I learned was, two guys had definitely done something with Resi.
Yep.
They weren't very specific as to what, but they'd done something with Resi and were a bit off him. Resi's become a bit of a drunk after getting touched up by Alaran.
Yep. Humiliated is the word you heard.
And even the High Prince is trying to get Resi back online, and they have some kind of scheme against the Collins via plateau runs.
Yeah.
And Resi mentioned something called the Sons of Honor.
Yeah, and you heard Thanadel specifically saying... You heard Thanadel specifically saying to Resi, there is a greater cause that has need of you.
That is also true, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. As you make your way... you make your way back outside the camps?
Yeah, I'll probably, not push my luck at this point and start heading my way out.
In the interests of expediency and making my life easy, I will say that you bump into Gark as you make your way out of the Thanadel war camp. You can see Gark is currently wandering down towards the Bethab. Actually, I should check, Gark. Is that what you would be doing? I should check.
Yeah, if that's where I know where the others are, I'd head towards where they are.
Yeah, the others told you their plan was to head for Bethab's war camp to try and communicate what had happened with the caravan to make sure that everyone was aware. You bump into Ztar as you make your way outside Thanadel's war camp. You can see Ztar. Gark is not too far ahead of you, and as you sort of come out, you quickly sort of catch up with him. Gark turning around, as you see Ztar, Ztar has a bit of a... Would it be fair to say like a self-satisfied grin on his face?
Yeah, borderline shit-eating, yeah.
Borderline shit-eating, which does look, again, kind of unusual, Gark, on a parchment. You're used to seeing these very docile, very stoic faces. Zatar's far more expressive.
If your plan is to blend in, you're not doing very well.
People rarely notice me.
Oh, they will do if you pull in a shit-eating grin like that. Storm-eating grin like that.
Creme-eating grin.
Creme-eating grin, yeah.
Grin.
Creme-munching grin.
Yeah, creme-munching grin is good. I reckon that would be official. That'd be the version of it, for sure.
Trust me, they would... Unless they were looking for it, they would never know that I was here. They will not pay attention to me unless I deliberately make it so, it seems. I am essentially invisible to them. It's how I've survived out here amongst these Alethi for years.
That's fair enough. Do Parshmen normally carry around like bits of gear and like equipment and things with... I'm not too familiar with it. Being on a ship quite a lot of the time, we don't tend to have Parshmen on there because they tend to fall overboard and they're expensive to replace. So... I mean, no offense by that, but I'm not too... This whole, you're in servitude to these people and all of that is completely weird to me.
But are you asking if I would carry your belongings?
No, I'd ask if you'd have your own.
Oh, right, you're offering me the starter's kit.
The starter's kit, yeah.
No, I am all right with what I have. Thank you, Gark.
But I have this really cool thing that I bought, so I bought one for everyone. Like specifically, like I made assumptions as to what all of you were like, and I bought this for you.
Ztar is picking the prisoner's kit, Gark.
Yeah, so you would have empty burlap sack for Ztar.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
There's more in it. There's more in it than nothing, but it's very light. The prisoner's kit. It doesn't come with a huge amount of stuff for obvious reasons.
You bought me some manacles, I think it was.
Yeah. don't read into it. Don't read into it. Don't read into it, Gark.
You have other plans for later, Gark?
I do now. Oh, Tom just gone.
I
Getting harsh with the
to the tune
posh.
of great interest.
Ooh. Very nice.
What's your plan now? What are you up to?
I was gathering intel in the Thanadel camp,
You know what? I'm planning on doing that at some point as well.
specifically the Thanadel camp.
No, I want to make my way over to the Behab one. I have a goal that I'd like to achieve. The whole reason I came out to the Shattered Plains.
Oh, well, I was heading there to meet up with the others anyway. By now, I'm sure they have secured the aid that we need to save our friends out on the Shattered Plains. And
Oh, yeah,
I have no doubt that they've not caused any problems in this endeavor.
Yeah, Lord Alaran and Lady Neivien seem like completely competent leaders. So
Let's jump to Neivien, Alaran, and Miki with that. That's a perfect segue into how they're going. I think let's do a quick. If we're watching a TV show, this would be the time where it cuts to them being thrown in a prison cell. So let's see how they go with that. Neivien and Miki. We jump back over towards you, Miki. Neivien was in the process of describing exactly what happened. I am going to get from you, if you would please give me a. I'm going to say this falls under more of a deception or stealth check because Neivien is going to start lying out of, like, just outright spinning the truth. And I want to see how well Miki is able to poker face this.
Hold the door. Can do.
Hold the door. Neivien, I believe your specific instruction for what you wanted to do was tell her many, many lies. Would you like to please begin describing for me? Is it because we left off as you were quickly talking through, like, you were in a caravan, Bethab's guards, attacked by soldiers. Did you say soldiers or did you say, like...
I think I just said that we were attacked
yeah.
by people who I thought were from a different princedom.
Perfect.
So I think I would be playing it off as though, well, I mean, which is quite true, that I was, terrified for my life, not paying a huge amount of attention. The biggest lie that I want to be telling is, I want to be trying to misconstrue which caravan we were a part of, just that we had these troops with us, Bethab's troops with us. Obviously not knowing how many caravans carry Bethab's troops. And also wanting to try to throw one of the other Light Eyes princedoms under the bus.
Which one?
For the attack. I'm
colon.
Well, would I know? Obviously, I'd know the basics about the Alethi princedoms and their alliances, I guess. But
Yes.
would there be a particular house that Bethab's would be, vehemently in constant contest with?
I believe they don't love Aladar, if my memory is correct. I will quickly pull open and double check just to make sure I am correct. But I'm pretty confident Bethab and Aladar have a bit of a friendly but sometimes unfriendly rivalry, and they do tend to sort of be a bit more against each other at certain times. Let's have a quick look. I'm pretty sure it was here we go. While I'm pulling that open, not closely aligned with colon. Doesn't really say. I'm thinking I do have a vague memory of him having a little bit of a thing with Aladar. So I'm going to say very very mild kind of beef with Aladar.
Okay. Then I will, being from Vedan, I'm sure that I would know the Aladarian colors. So I would be throwing into the story, describing colors and little things that would lead the Bright Eyes to believe that it was from that prince.
Aladar's house colors are probably the coolest. It's black on red. It's very striking. It's pretty sick. As you weave together this tale, could I get you to please make me a deception check, Neivien? Is that a 12, Miki, for your deception check?
Yeah, that's right.
12's good. 12's good. You're kind of keeping your poker face. Partly because, like, Miki, you're aware of what's going on.
We were prepared. Yeah.
You had a bit of a chat beforehand. So yeah, Neivien, if I could get a deception check, please. 13. 13's not too bad. As you weave this tale, hinting at sights of black on red livery tabards, the only other thing I need to know is, do you mention the Shard Bearer?
Oh. Yes, I do.
Cool. Do you describe their armor as being painted black?
I don't bring up the armor at all. I just bring up that we were attacked by a Shard Bearer.
Okay, so you just bring up the blade rather than the armor per se.
Yes, I will make it clear that they were obscured by armor, but I'm not going to go into specifics as to whether it was... Yes.
You can see Dala, Bright Lady Dala, taking all of this in. As you're getting towards the end of your tale, you watch as she suddenly rises, turns towards the door, and opens an almost imperceptible knock as a man strides into the room next to her, nodding towards you, Miki and Neivien, before taking a stance, guarding the door as Dala comes and sits down closer to you. This man shares a lot of similarities to Dala. You can see that he looks quite similar. Similar age, maybe a little bit older, mid-40s, with graying black hair, light green eyes. And you can see that he is, a lot of kind of like similar nose, similar face. Neivien, you instantly recognize this. This man is Pelagan Taranat. Pelagan is High Marshal for Bethab's army and the brother of Dala. As you finish your tale, Dala nods towards her brother and looks back towards the two of you and goes, "Anything you say in front of me, you can say in front of our High Marshal here. Now, your tale is quite concerning. The caravan that you're coming in on, I'm just looking through the schedule here. The only caravan we were expecting in the next few weeks was led by Bright Lady Ralanat. This was a number of our guards and soldiers. Are you telling me that these people are all dead?"
I don't know who's dead, Bright Lady. I only know what I saw, and there was quite a lot of death. We made it out with quite a number of the caravan. They're still traveling along quite slowly, which is why there's this level of urgency.
We need to send... You watch as she turns towards her brother. "Pelican, there are survivors. You need to take the road along... where are we? Yes, the southwestern road, straight out past the outer market. There are potential soldiers of ours stranded out there. When's the next high storm?" She begins flicking through her notes. "Tomorrow," the storm wardens say. "You'll need to go now, Pelican. Take a group overnight." "Once, sister." With that, he turns and strides out of the room, disappearing. You can see as she watches him go, she shakes her head, rubs her eyes, and goes, "Oh, this is awful. So, many of our soldiers dead, an unknown number of survivors. You and this Alaran and you, Horneater, Miki, you came to tell us of this straight away. I must say I am... I'm ashamed of my earlier mistrust of you. You must understand the state of your dress, the state of your being was rather concerning. But if we have a group of our people out there who need help, we best send some soldiers to go and find them now. What are your plans? You said you were supposed to meet with Brightness Navani next?
I must meet with her to fulfill my mistress's wishes. But that is not the main goal of our group. Our main goal was immediately to help those of the caravan. past that, I mean, it's been a little bit of a whirlwind.
You watch as she pauses for a second as one of the... You can see reflected, hidden from view, Neivien. She's kind of kept her stack of notes and papers sort of away from your eyes standing in the door. And you've seen she's taken notes on occasion. You notice as there's a flashing light suddenly from behind, reflected on some of the buttons that she has on her haver. You watch as she looks down, reaches up, and you see finally, she pulls it into view, a span reed. As she presses the top of the gem, you watch as the span reed begins to write as she looks down. And then looks up and goes, "Well, you match the description of a Neivien from Vedan. I think your story might be true."
Yes, I certainly think it is.
Sure you do. Now, the colours you described, do you understand who you are accusing of this crime?
I do not. I am from Vedan, and although I've spent quite a lot of time in your lands with the Alethi, it certainly isn't. I'm not as well versed in your culture as I should be.
Well, I must say I find myself flattered that you instantly recognise me and know of my reputation, yet know not of High Prince Aladar's colours. That is indeed an interesting feat you have accomplished there. A blind spot in your training and education, young lady.
I don't disagree that I have several, but heraldry has never really been my strong suit. War is not something that interests me.
No, war is not the domain of women. You are correct to keep yourself distant from it. Well, Brightness Navani will not be receiving you this time of night. The description I provided of young Alaran also matches. It seems his father is sworn to Bethab. Such we shall, of course, offer you and any of your companions, survivors from this caravan attack, shelter, food, drink for the night, accommodation here if you must. I understand that you have a patron, a mistress, a teacher that you work for. You are versed in your letters, child?
I am.
Once you have completed the tasks for your mistress, if you are interested in employment under Bethab, I am sure I could use someone of your keen sight. We are in need of new scribes. With the caravan being lost, I imagine that... Well, I find it hard to imagine that any of our scribes who were coming on that caravan survived.
Lady...
You don't need to make a decision now. Have a chance to think about it. You've been through a lot. You can see she kind of softens a little bit. I understand. I am sorry for what you went through. Please accept my apology for my rudeness. Yes, Miki.
Taking it a little step forward with attempting to abide by Alethi culture of, let the light eyes talk and you don't interfere.
You're light-eyed too, Miki.
that.
You got light eyes. But yeah, I get you.
That is true, actually.
That is true.
Yeah. I do want to say thank you for sending out what was, I believe, Pelagan was the name of the soldier, the captain you sent out then.
Pelagan himself won't be. He won't be heading out himself, but he will be ordering a number of our troops to. Pelagan, my older brother, is High Marshal to Bright Lord Bethab. He is. It would be rather foolish to send him out on this. Now, your descriptions match the descriptions I have from my contacts in Vedan, but this still could be a trap. My brother will be back in shortly, and keep in mind, he's a shard bearer.
Sure, there's the traps, I guess so. I was more just wanting to say that thank you for attending to the those who are possibly hurt in, one day away from a high storm in the hills. It is, reassuring that you actually do care for those traveling around these lands. It's something I value as an Unkalaki.
Of course, these are our soldiers and our people. We would be foolish to care so little for them. And it is expensive to pay out untimely death payments for our soldiers. Far cheaper to save them and bring them back.
There's a little head tilt of like, why did
you were doing so well. You were doing so well. Yeah. Sorry, look, Miki, it's the Alethi, man.
Yeah.
It occurs to me, I don't
Yes.
think Alaran actually ever told us that Bright Lady Rav-eth,
Ralanat.
Relenat, something like that, was a bad person. I don't think
He didn't
actually
share.
told us
He
that-
didn't share that she was clearly forewarned of the attack and took off early.
Yeah, he didn't.
So from your
So I-
perspective,
I
Neivien,
think-
you haven't seen her since the attack. She just vanished.
Yeah, and I think having that little epiphany just then, I would probably say, Bright Lady, we were traveling with another Light Eyes. I don't know if you know Bright Lady Releneth. You did mention her as being with our caravan. Do you know what became of her? We lost her during the attack, and I don't know if she made it here safely.
No, we've had no news on Bright Lady Ralanat. That was going to be my next question. If you'd seen what happened to her, have you had any news? No?
Nothing.
I fear she's been lost in the attack then. That is a great loss. She was travelling here with supplies and news she could not send via span read, or so she claimed.
I'm afraid I know nothing of this.
It's fine. The hour is late. Come, I will organise some accommodations for you and your companions. How many more are there of you?
Just give me a moment and I'll go count the overlay.
There's 6 of you total, but Rav-eth is back at the camp, so you know there's only 5 of you who'll need to stay here for the night.
5 of us.
I don't
I knew
count. I
that.
know I'm on the overlay, but I'm not really there. I'm also not in focus, which also helps make sure you can't see me. There we go.
5. Yes, we can have accommodation for you. Of course, you'll be staying in the women's quarters.
Of course.
Very well. Well, gather your companions and friends together. I can meet you at the front of our command center, and I'll have one of our stewards guide you over to some accommodation for the evening. Is there anything you still need to communicate to Bright Lord Bethab? Or is this
No,
all?
that was the crux of it. I believe anything else is less pressing.
He and Machina may have questions for you in the morning. Would you be available for questioning by the Bright Lord? I don't want to get in the way of your meeting with Brightness Navani, but there may be more questions for you once he has heard this report. Would you be available and amenable to a conversation with the High Prince?
I cannot make any decisions for my companions, but I myself would absolutely be available.
Good.
Yes, we can do that. I could do that, surely.
I am not wholly unfamiliar with your ways, Horn-Eater. You have the bearing of a soldier, correct?
Oh.
That is unfamiliar, unusual amongst your people.
Yes, there are certain types of Unkalaki, and you take your position, and I then hold my short spear, and my position is with the spear. You are correct. How much do you know about us? What do you think of myself as a soldier?
I wondered if you might have any insights on the way these soldiers attacked. This is something my brother would ask were he here. He has these mind for military tactics. I simply try to think as he might. Was there anything you noticed about their tactics, about the way they operated? Any insights you can give us that I could present to the Bright Lord?
I mentioned the going over the hills. We weren't quite expecting it. It was all from left and right, and we were quite trapped. It seems like I give a generic description of wait for someone to be in an undefensible position before you attack.
Right. So would you say that this was... I don't want to rule out that this could be deserters or bandits, but what you're describing sounds far more like soldiers. This is from your eye and I want your opinion, Horn-Eater. Miki, I want to understand what you think. What was your impression of these people? Were they well trained? Were they deserters? Bandits? Was this an organized attack? You're an outsider. I want your fresh perspective and eyes on this.
My thoughts are they're not bandits. They weren't just randoms who have collated together. but it was not a executed well-formed attack. So it would have to be somewhere in between those two.
Thank you.
You know, you would normally have a horn or something for the strike to occur. There was no such thing.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but if this was an ambush, surprise attack, a horn would give away the beginning of such a thing. Is it possible they had another method of signaling that wasn't audible? Use visual means, perhaps.
That's what I would have thought. There was no horn. So, you know, that you make a good point. Perhaps there was the visual signal. You know, I believe we were in a valley at the time.
Yeah.
You know, our eyes were looking forwards and down. So, you know, there could have been, visual cues. You make a good point. Right.
To me, this speaks of military stratagem, knowing to keep things quiet, knowing to... This is trained. They knew to be silent, to be stealthy, to surround you in the middle of this canyon, this crevasse, and then trap you in. How did you escape? How did any of you escape?
Well, I tried to hold my own for a little bit, but, you know, when you really are outnumbered, you do take a position you want to be killed in. There was many dead bodies, and we were the lucky ones who were hidden, you know, amongst the rubble.
Very well. Thank you both. I will... Please, once you've gathered your companions, I'll have a steward meet you at the front of the command center and take you somewhere to rest. I will meet you in the morning, perhaps, if there's more that my lady wishes to ask of you. And, of course, the High Prince Bethab.
Thank you so much for your time.
It's concerning times. I'll need to look into this. Thank you. With that, she stands, opens the door, and gestures for you both to leave.
I do so. I letting Neivien lead the way.
Alrighty. Neivien, Alaran, well, Alaran's not with you yet, but Neivien and Miki, as you make your way out, you can see Alaran is still in the antechamber where you first gathered, still talking to this Ardent. As you approach, Alaran looks up and gives you a bit of a half wave and goes, I'll just be a few more moments. I'll meet you at the front. It all went okay?
It did. Better than expected, given how it started.
You watch as Alaran sort of wipes his brow and goes, by Ash's eyes, I'm happy to hear that. Good.
Alaran, you're much more sober than you were 10 minutes ago.
I think I'm feeling a bit better. My piss fitness, as Miki said, I think it's improving.
That's impressive. I didn't know people could have such little effect after such a short period of time.
You watch as the Ardent holds up a cup of tea, looks towards it, and nods towards you, Neivien, and goes, "Oh, I've given the lad a drink of something to help hydrate him and help with whatever it is he's been consuming."
Smart. Good. All right. Take as long as you need. The urgency is past. We all have rooms for the night. We'll meet you when you're ready.
Alaran nods. Gark and Miki, as the two of you arrive at the gates to the Bethab war camp, you can see the guards have fully changed shift. Ztar, you don't recognize any of the guards from before. It's a completely new group who have now taken over. Looks like the changing of the guards has occurred. As you approach Gark with Ztar not far behind you, the guards immediately stop you at the gate asking what your business is, wanting to know what it is you're doing here.
Hi. I'm here to speak to my friends that I travelled here with, Lady Neivien and Lord Alaran, and Miki as well.
You watch as the guard turns towards one of the other guards, sends a runner up to the command center. 10 minutes later, the runner comes back, whispers something to the guard. He nods, gestures for you both to enter.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Right. Yes.
I was parching along behind Gark.
Yeah.
Gark and Ztar, as you head towards the command center, you can see Miki and Neivien waiting out the front for you. At this stage, someone has handed Neivien a nice glass of what looks like some nice Alethi wine. Judging by the color, Raph, I'd say, what are we thinking? Maybe an Auburn?
I'd say an Auburn.
An Auburn wine, so not super strong, but mid-tier in terms of strength.
That's probably what she'd enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, could be a yellow, a deep, bold taste while being weak enough to drink casually. It could be a yellow.
That sounds about right.
Someone's handed Neivien a little glass of wine.
Jameson whiskey.
Yeah. Miki, you've also been handed a mud beer, the closest to your favorite drinks that you can be given. Despite the name, a mud beer is not muddy. It is a beer made from lava screen, fermented so that it has a sort of an earthy aroma. I believe, an earthy warming flavor is what we know of mud beer. Miki, this stuff's weak as shit, but it's water. It's water. It's fine. It's not. It'll do. You could drink like 10 of these, no problem.
Yes, I remember my first drink, and this is very similar to it. Thank you.
Yeah, this would have been what, like, 5-year-old Horneaters drink. This is like this is baby stuff. But yeah, Gark, Ztar, you see Miki and Neivien waiting outside the front of the command center off towards the side as you approach.
Ah, friends, I come bearing gifts, holding up the big bag.
Oh.
Neivien and Miki, you may add to your character sheet a starting kit of your choice as Gark hands over the goodies. Do you know what your starting gear is? What you'd like to pick?
I did when I first picked it.
Unsurprisingly,
Yep.
Soldier. Miki has gone the soldier.
Oh my god, who could have guessed?
Ending up with some chain. What a shock. He's got chain now.
There you
Armor.
go. Hey, fantastic. Neivien?
I
didn't know that was one of the kits.
You'd be amazed.
I know.
No, I don't. I did, but now I don't. For context, I accidentally gave myself inventory like 2 sessions ago, and Owen made me delete it, and now I have no idea what that was. So I will go find that, but rest assured, it's going to be something Art of Fabrian related.
I believe there is I can tell you what the starting kits are actually.
I think it's either Artisan Artisan doesn't have Fabric on it. I think Scholar does.
Scholar, I was going to say. It would have been a Scholar kit for sure.
It would have been. That sounds very correct.
Right. I'll just pull it open and see if I can find it. But where are we? Yeah, here we go. Starting kits. So, where are we? I will find it just because it's interesting to have open and we can talk it through. Equipment starting kit. Okay, so here are the starting kits. Here we go. Chapter 7. I was in completely the wrong spot. Doesn't that feel good? Starting kits. So the options are academic kit, which is a knife, sling, staff. You get a uniform. You get a pouch with some marks, and you also gain the literature expertise. There's the artisan kit, which is a hammer or light weapon, is what Gark chose. Leather armor and a chest with some stuff in it. Military kit, which is 2 non-special weapons, uniform and chain armor. A courtier kit, you get a side sword, greatsword, longbow. You get alcohol, a bottle of violet wine, and some fine clothing. Prisoner kit, weapons, armor, and spheres, none. You get manacles and ragged clothing. Underworld kit, you get 2 light weapons, leather armor, and some random stuff. So probably
the first one
academic
is what I
kit.
picked.
Yeah, I was going to say. Reference book on a topic of your choice, so we can talk through what that is later. As all of you begin going through your kit, Ztar, technically, the prisoner kit does come with something, and that was going to be our cliffhanger for tonight. As you stand apart from the others, Ztar, Gark handing out the goodies, Neivien and Miki going through the stuff really excitedly, pulling out items and looking at them. You look up towards the night sky, Ztar. You can see the twin moons rising high above, the third yet to come out yet. And as you do, you watch as a patch of starlight seems to move unusually for a moment. And as it begins to lower down, you can see that this patch of starlight is actually a a strange rend in the sky. This tiny sliver of starlight separate from the areas around it, the edges continually moving and undulating, blending with the world around you. And as it approaches, you hear a voice. Ztar, you seek justice. And that is where we're going to wrap up for tonight. Ooh. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, everybody. That is where we're going to leave things for tonight's session. Those of you who are very familiar with the Stormlight Archive books will immediately know what this is and what is going on with Ztar. But for those of you who don't, you're going to have to stay tuned. You're going to have to wait. More coming there. We'll see that very, very shortly. Awesome. Thank you, everybody, so much. We will see you all for our Cosmere campaign, our Echoes of Honor campaign, continuing next Monday night. We've also got our 2 D&D campaigns, the Tales from the Yawning Portal on a Tuesday night, and the Homebrew Adventure Return of the Giants on a Wednesday night. So if you want more excellent quality content, we have something approximating that coming very soon to a screen near you. Thank you, everybody, again, for those of you who have subscribed to the channel. We've just hit 2,000 subscribers. This will timestamp this video. We just hit 2,000 subscribers yesterday. So thank you so much, everybody who subscribed. Remember, if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do. Parchment over to the subscribe button and press it very, very gently so that you don't draw too much attention. Make sure you lie furiously about things that really you probably shouldn't be lying about by leaving a comment in the area below. And embroil yourself in a scheme that you really should be telling your companions about, but you're not going to for 20 sessions by hitting the like button. And that's how you help us out immensely. That is all the good things that helps us out. For those of you watching on Twitch, don't go anywhere. We are going to go and raid a lovely friend of the channel tonight. That is going to be... Let's go and raid... Nah, we're not doing Pokemon Legends ZA. We're gonna make sure we keep raiding D&D. Let's keep the RPG thing going. Let's go and raid... Nerds Down Under. They're doing a charity stream, Machinations of Gods and Monsters. Let's go and give them a raid. They've got 2 viewers. I think we can help them out a little bit with that. I'll get that raid going. Everybody else, thank you so much. We will see you all soon. Stay safe, stay well, and until next episode, farewell. Goodbye, guys. Bye.
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 See you later.